All right. We live? Yeah, we're live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm back. My apologies. I did mean to make a live stream last night, but yesterday was so hectic. It was so hectic. But I will make up for it. How we doing this morning? Just wanted to sort of do a live rant, I guess you could say. Um, Sometimes I need to do this. I'll hold back on jumping on live and ranting. I'll hold back, and I realize it does me no good. I always feel better once I get some of these things off my chest. So if you will excuse me, I need to engage in this sort of therapeutic ranting, because the madness is just that, madness. All right. Now, before I get to this story, a lot of these stories, really all these stories that involve dog attacks, what I've noticed is it's better sometimes to let the story develop before you really cover it, because they're always developing stories, and this is one of them. But before I get to that, have y'all noticed, I know you've noticed, how they treat every single dog attack as an isolated event? An isolated event. And I've been trying to get in touch with many of these victims. I still am. And as soon as I get any response from any of them, I'm going to share it here online. But they treat each attack as an isolated event so often that I believe if they were to report on, let's say, 1,000 a day, they'd always treat them as isolated accidents, freak accidents, which they are not. They are meticulously set up. These attacks are set up, and you are a participant in the setting up of these attacks. Don't be, right? Don't be. And these dog nuts, these people are always terrorizing the neighborhood. At the same time, they're always acting like a victim. I'm sick of how these people project the idea that it's okay for them to terrorize everybody else in the community. And as soon as someone defends themselves from your stupid mutt, you want to act like the victim, as if society is against dogs. No, y'all gonna stop playing that game. Okay, and I want to share this story briefly with you all. Not this story. Let me share my screen here. How many of y'all read about this story? It surfaced November 5th, a couple days ago. Okay. Surveillance video allegedly shows LAPD officers shoot family dog with non-lethal round. Here we go with this family dog nonsense. Man, we have to call this out. I'm sick of the use of the word family when referring to dogs. It's just one of the ways they try to humanize these mutants. We are not related to these things. Y'all remember the lady picked up stray dogs off the side of the road, and when the dogs attacked her son, they said that the boy was attacked by the family dog. This is just a mutt they picked up off the street 3 weeks prior. No matter what, they always try to humanize every single dog. This was nothing but a worthless vermin that shouldn't have been there in the first place. And like I said, the danger they present is so apparent. You can see it in how police officers are forced to deal with them. Now I'm going to play this video and I'll come back with commentary. Oh, please don't lag. Okay. Okay, I got an advertisement here. Man, I hate these stupid things. You need a 20-second ad for. Okay, surveillance video allegedly shows LAP. I don't know why they say allegedly. Like it was caught on camera. So,
yes, good evening. The complaint has launched
okay, sorry about that.
an investigation within the LAPD, and Corey Lennon says officers were in his neighborhood yesterday on the report of an aggressive dog, and he says his dog was cornered in his own driveway and shot with a non-lethal round, and we want to warn you that some of the video may be graphic.
It's just crazy to be a victim of such a crazy experience.
A crazy experience, all captured on home surveillance cameras. Corey Lennon says he was feeding his baby girl when a commotion started outside his Winnetka home Thursday.
My fiance heard officers' radios while I was feeding the baby, so she got up and said, hey, there's two officers walking up the driveway.
But before the LAPD officers walk up the driveway, listen closely. One of the officers appears to load a weapon.
You hear the shotgun. You guys knew you were going to pull that trigger when they came up the driveway.
Video shows his dog, Ruby, run out from the backyard, barking with her tail wagging. The officers yell commands to her while walking towards her. Ruby backpedals a little bit, and then leading Lennon and his family to rush outside. Lennon says Ruby was shot with a non-lethal beanbag round.
Straight between the eyes, and split her face open. She was bleeding out of her nostrils. She was drooling blood out of her mouth.
But how did this happen? Lennon says the officers told him they were responding to a call and felt threatened by Ruby.
They said that there was an aggressive dog attacking people in the streets, and it was linked to this address. There's no police report. There's no injured people. They didn't even know if they shot the right dog.
Lennon says Ruby is a loving pit bull rescue who even sleeps with their infant.
We gave her a new home and a new life, and now she has to kind of start over again.
After taking Ruby to the vet, Lennon followed up with the LAPD.
I did file a report or a complaint against the two officers.
Because of that filed complaint, LAPD officers say they can't comment on an active investigation. But Lennon only wants a simple question answered. Why?
Stuff like this needs to get out there because it happens all the time. Like, this isn't with humans too. It happens with animals. It happens with humans. People need to be held accountable for doing something like that.
What an ignorant piece of trash. What a brainless, ignorant piece of trash.
And Ruby is expected.
So as you clearly saw, these idiots were inside the home and the dog was outside off leash. Off leash. He clearly said that the police were responding to a dog that had been harassing people. Wait a minute.
On home surveillance cameras.
Listen to this.
A crazy experience all captured on home surveillance cameras.
So, wait a minute.
It's just crazy to be a victim of such a crazy...
So as soon as it started out, this piece of trash wants to call himself a victim. He's sitting up in the house with a dog outside the house, a bully breed, off leash. Cops respond to police reports that there's an off leash mutt terrorizing the neighborhood. They come and shoot it with a beanbag, and he claims to be a victim. Can you believe that?
Experience.
A crazy experience all captured on home surveillance cameras. Corey Lennon says he was feeding his baby girl.
Feeding his baby girl? He was inside the home. And notice how they show all these images of the mother with the baby. They showed the baby as if, oh, the loving family just being loving and peaceful. You got a flipping dog outside, a bully breed, off leash, terrorizing the neighborhood, you dumb piece of trash. You're not going to sit up here and play the victim? I don't think so. And I hope y'all see this video. I'm going to tag these people. These people are trash.
When a commotion started outside his Winnetka home Thursday.
My fiance heard officers' radios while I was feeding the baby, so she got up and said, hey, there's 2 officers walking up the driveway.
But before the LAPD officers walk up the driveway, listen closely. One of the officers appears to load a weapon.
You hear the shotgun. You guys knew you were going to pull that trigger when they came up the driveway.
He said that the cops knew that they were going to pull the trigger when they came up the driveway. Yeah, you heard a shotgun cock, idiot. You got a bully breed off leash and you inside the home and you just letting it run free. See how much these people, this is overt terrorism of a community. This is overt. It's not coded. It's not hidden. This idiot, these fools, these dog nuts, pit bull nuts will simply let these mutts roam off leash outside and they don't care. And then they want to play the victim when that mutt gets shot.
Video shows his dog Ruby run out from the back.
Look, you clearly see this mutt is off leash. This is the sidewalk over here. This mutt is free to run around that car, run down the block, go anywhere it wants, and that's what it was doing. And people were calling the cops because of it. And this piece of trash said, well, there were no police reports. There was nobody hurt. Where does this level of idiocy come from? How is it even possible?
Yard, barking with her tail wagging.
With her tail wagging. Why do they keep including that? As if that is somehow relevant. These mutants wag their tail no matter what they're doing. Why do you keep pointing that out? In this video, the dog is threatening the police officers with its tail wagging. This is their attempt to suggest that the dog is being harmless and friendly, that it means no harm when it wags its tail. Look, the tail's wagging. These brain dead idiots, do not let them get away with this. This has been a big mistake that we've made, allowing these people to believe that they make sense when they open their stupid mouths. They do not.
The officers yell commands to her while walking towards her. Ruby backpedals a little bit and then...
Now you heard several warnings from the cops. So you can't say that the cop knew he was going to shoot the dog before he walked up there. They were being cautious. Look, these cops are still people. They get out of bed. They want to come home the same way they went to work. Of course they're going to protect themselves. They hear that there's a loose pit bull running around the neighborhood. Yeah, as soon as you get out the car, you better cock that gun. What are you talking about?
Leading
stupid, worthless mutt running around off leash. And only after it gets shot with a beanbag do these brain dead imbeciles want to come outside the home acting like the victim. What have you done to us? What have you done to us? Stupid pieces of trash.
Go back inside with the baby, please.
Lennon says Ruby was shot with a non-lethal beanbag round.
Straight between the eyes and split her face open.
Yeah! You lucky they didn't shoot and kill that mutt. What are you talking about? You did this to this dog, you idiot, by letting it roam the neighborhood off leash. How does a media outlet actually report on a story like this without pointing out this guy's negligence and overt terrorism of a community? What is this?
And she was bleeding out of her nostrils. She was drooling blood out of her mouth.
But how did this happen? Lennon says the officers told him they were responding to a call and felt threatened by Ruby.
They said that there was an aggressive dog attacking people in the streets, and
Aggressive dog attacking people in the streets.
There's a link to this address.
And they were linked to this address. So the people knew whose dog it was. And they say, hey, these people right here have a dog and they're letting it run loose all around the neighborhood. Could you send somebody out here? And they're talking as if the people who called the cops were in the wrong. They did what they were supposed to do. And really, they were, being merciful to you. You lucky we in the United States. In some parts of the world, they would have took care of that problem themselves.
There's no police report. There's no injured people. They didn't even know if they shot the right dog.
No police report. No injured people. There don't have to be a police. This is the police report. You idiot. Them calling the cops. Could y'all send somebody out here? That's the police report. You stupid piece of trash. Where do these people get off? Where do they get off? Now I'm going to calm down here in a couple minutes because I planned on being in good spirits. But this type of stupidity, you have to lay into these people. Unbelievable.
Lennon says Ruby is a loving pit bull rescue who even sleeps with their infant.
So you already see what type of person this is. Or the type of person who, like I've been saying, these people don't care about their own life. And as a result, they don't care about their children's life. And they don't care about anybody else's life in this world. That's why they will do stuff like this. Sacrifice their children to the dog. And they will let these mutts run off leash outside without a care in the world who it attacks. Kids, anything could be outside. They don't care. These are sociopaths. And they are protected by the media. And we got to call this out. And there's nothing they could say in objection to this. And this is why this movement ain't going nowhere. This is a movement against stupidity, against insanity. You cannot defeat that.
We give her a new home and a new life. And
you stupid shelter pit bull adopting piece of trash. That's what you are.
To kind of start over again.
After taking Ruby to the vet, Lennon pit bull rescue who even sleeps with their infant.
We give her a new home and a new life. And
you nasty, dirty, unshaven, peanut butter on your stupid t-shirt. Idiot. These people are absolute trash. How on earth could you even live with yourself knowing that you're putting the whole community at risk? Letting a adopted bully breed from a flipping shelter run loose in the neighborhood. How much more reckless and careless could you possibly be? Are you kidding? You telling me this is not illegal to the point where media outlets like this don't point out this guy's utter insanity? They want to tell this story to the public as if this piece of trash is a victim? Insane.
Now she has to kind of start over again.
After taking Ruby to the vet, Lennon followed up with the LAPD.
I did file a report or a complaint against the two officers.
Because of that filed complaint, LAPD officers say they can't comment on an active investigation. But Lennon only wants a simple question answered. Why?
Stuff like this needs to get out there because it happens all the time. This isn't.
What happens all the time? Idiots like you let their adopted shelter bully breed run off leash through the community? That happens all the time. Don't talk about that mutt getting shot. That's just the result. People trying to correct the mistake that you made.
With humans too, it happens with animals, it happens with humans. People need to be held accountable for
Look at this dude. Got a big long line of dirt on his t-shirt. In front of
doing something like that.
What?
And Ruby is expected to be okay, but they are closely monitoring her. And Lennon says LAPD officers did offer to pay the vet bill, but he wants a further investigation.
What? They got the police officers pumped. where the police are going to offer to pay the vet bill? Are you out of your mind? And people, nobody calls stuff like this out. They shared this story as if this guy is a victim of wrongdoing, as if somebody did him wrong. You believe this? My goodness, let me calm down. See, I wanted to get that story out of the way first, so I can end on a peaceful note. Talk about infuriating, unbelievable, unbelievable. Shout out to the Stallion, who just became a 2-month member of the channel. My goodness. Yeah, cops are dog nuts as well. Dog nuts as well. These people here, they're a dog nut who knows to cock the shotgun as they walk up to the home, who clearly physically defending themselves from a dog attack, and at the same time they're dog nuts themselves. You know they're under some type of spell. Some type of possession is in play. This dog nut culture is a possession. It's a spirit, mental and spiritual possession over these people. There's no way around that, in my opinion. My goodness. How many of y'all seen this story right here? How many of y'all seen this? My goodness. Isn't this a wacky world? I see my subscriber count is going up pretty fast in a short period of time. All you new people to the channel, isn't this crazy? This is a wacky, wacky world. And the biggest question is, why were there not more people before me doing what I'm doing? That's the big question. But make no mistake, we're here now. We're here now. Check the home page of this channel at the recommended channels. And we're only going to grow. Our numbers are not going to shrink. We're going to fight back against this madness with every drop of blood in our body. Now, I tried to get in touch with this woman, and I'm waiting for it to respond to me. I'm waiting for her to respond. I'm sorry, viewer discretion advised. My apologies. Some of these images will be graphic. My apologies, people. This is a very recent story. November 5th, 2 days ago. The title got my attention right away. Traumatized woman terrified of dogs after lip ripped off in a dog attack. See how they put animals there? Just totally unnecessary. That was totally, not only unnecessary, it's out of place. Just say what it was. It was a dog. Just say what she's terrified of. She's terrified of dogs. Okay? This is not a theory of mine, people. They use the word animals in place of dogs in an attempt to not single dogs out. They don't want to create a pattern where something is repeated, because that's how you brainwash people, when you repeat something over and over and over. So they try to use animals interchangeably with dogs because they don't want to continuously always say dog. This is a mutt. Dog lover. She was a dog lover, people. Now she's terrified of dogs. Right? So you best believe I reached out to her. I reached out to her family. And, you know, I asked them, do you believe now that dogs are a public health and safety hazard? A public safety and child hazard. You know, I would really like to know the before thoughts and afterthoughts after a situation like this. 48-year-old Marie Fast is now terrified of dogs. Let me replace the word animals with dogs. because this article does not say that she's terrified of cats. They're only talking about dogs. She was talking to the dog's owner, who was trimming hedges in the area. When she bent down to pet the dog, once again, use the word animal instead of dog. To pet the worthless mutt, right? Shout out to worthless mutts. It's a worthless mutt. It attacked without warning. This is according to the article. No warning. And what do we hear all the time? Well, they always show a warning. They never attack for no reason. Lunged at her before sinking its teeth into her face and completely ripping off her upper lip. My goodness, people. My goodness, what is this? She's a janitor. She was rushed to the hospital, underwent reconstructive surgery immediately. Surgeons tried to rebuild her lip. Said it was completely bitten off, ripped through her upper lip. And it was a bloody mess. Her sister said it looked like ground meat. Like, we know how it looks. She was in so much pain for days, and she couldn't eat or drink. Isn't that horrible? A dog attack your mouth. Now you can't even eat properly. For weeks now you can't even enjoy a meal. And there's nothing that dogs offer us that's worth this kind of sacrifice. Nothing. She was drinking soup through a straw for 3 weeks. She has autism. Autism. They said that she approached animals carefully. The guy told her the dog's name. So she got down to the dog's level. And when she did that, it attacked her face. The guy grabbed his dog and left. They still have not found this individual. Still have not found him. Crazy stuff. The wacky world of dog nuttery. That's what this is. They've tried to pull the skin above the lip down, but it's obviously different color. They're trying to rebuild what a lip would look like. Man, oh man. Usually upbeat and positive, Marie has been left depressed after devastating attack. She loves animals and now she won't go near them. Let's be clear here. Stop this. She loves worthless mutts and now she won't go near them. She hasn't been near a dog. See, and now they use the word dog. She hasn't been near a dog since because she gets so nervous around them. Dogs. It says she has many panic attacks if she sees one. This is a former dog lover. This is a former dog lover. How her life has changed. How her view of dogs may have changed. I hope that it's changed for the better. But this is, again, one of the worst stories I've read, I've researched. And her injuries, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Is it worth it? Having a worthless mutt in your home? You really telling me that the alleged reduction in anxiety after you rub that nasty mutt is worth taking the chance of this happening? I don't think so. I don't think so. You're not going to be able to dupe everybody forever. Man, how crazy is that? How crazy is that? Mountain lion snaps and kills. Yeah. We could stream that it's a myth that dogs help you prepare for the real world because my family says it's not true. Yeah, that's a good idea. And this story also surfaced here recently, November 7th, actually today. A 10-year-old boy in a wheelchair after a dog attacked him, left him looking like a shark bite victim. That's what the title of the article says. That he looked like a shark bite victim. And many people have referred to dogs as land sharks. Land sharks. And as we all know, the injuries are horrific. After they get mauled by a dog, it's the worst type of mauling you could imagine. Yeah, they look just like a shark attack victim. Dog's teeth, they'll rip right through your flesh down to the bone, just like a shark. These are land sharks that people are trying to pretend are family members and are allowing their babies to sleep in the same bed with them. That type of closeness. Utter insanity. John Henry Dundas left screaming in agony, unable to walk, when he was attacked by a bully breed, Staffordshire Bull Terrier. The rugby player was at his friend's house when the dog first took a bite at his leg before it paused and took a second bite where it locked onto his leg and refused to let go. Man. So it bit him and it paused and then clamped down on him. Listen to the behavior of this thing. Would you accept, how would you view a human being who does that? Who puts their hand around you and just start choking the life out of you for absolutely no reason. And this group of people, they were known to do that. To simply launch assaults on people out of the blue for absolutely no reason. Would you project that group of people as angels? The most wonderful people on the planet? What is wrong? What is wrong with you dog nuts? This is ridiculous. John Henry, he was left with a gruesome wound. Again, viewer discretion advised. They included a photo of the child's injury. And really, to us, it's nothing we haven't seen before. Later revealed he suffered deep cuts and lacerations. It looked like he had been attacked by a shark. And this is his leg. And this is what I'm trying to hammer home, people. The severity of these injuries are such that they should greatly increase the chances that dogs be made illegal. That they be deemed as a public safety hazard. And it should be viewed as child endangerment if you have one of these things inside the home where kids live. There's no debating this. All of you dog nuts, you know this full well. There's no debating this. As I said many times, toys that only caused minor injuries without even breaking the skin have been removed from the shelves, totally banned forever. And there were not as near, and this is only after a few hundred injuries They would ban these toys. And here you have these toys, right, which are handled like toys. Dogs are handled by the public like toys. Oh, fun. I want to get one. Oh, get me one. You want one of these kids? Oh, yeah, kids. They're inflicting injuries like this. And you telling me that this is acceptable to project these things as family members, as harmless? And when they do attack, you want to talk about that as some type of freak accident? When you got what? Thousands of people being attacked per day? What are the statistics? I believe I still have them up. Give me a second. Let me pull them back up here. Because this is serious, man. This is so serious. Let me get this. I still got it? Yeah, I still got it. And I always like to refer back to this. But let me share my screen. Is that what you're looking at? Okay, y'all are looking at it. We're talking about children alone, people. These numbers are for children alone. It doesn't include adults. And every day, 6,849 kids are bitten. Every single day in this country. Kids alone. 1,095 kids alone every day need emergency care treatment in the United States. 41 every day need reconstructive surgery. Kids alone. Okay, this is not a debate. These things are dangerous. The toys that were removed from the shelves, that were banned, they did not injure anywhere near this many kids. Not even over a period of several years did they injure as many kids as dogs do. So there's no excuse for dogs to be legal in this country. It's as simple as that, people. It is as simple as that. Because we are already on record as having banned too many far less dangerous items or toys in this country. So you can tell the banning of those toys had nothing to do with morality. It had nothing to do with concern for kids' safety. If they really were concerned about child safety in this country, dogs would be illegal to own. People, at the very least, bully breeds would be illegal to own in every state. At the very least. Bully breeds, Rottweilers, German Shepherds, all the large dogs, at the very least, they would be banned. People, none of them are banned because they don't care about our safety at all. So they're leaving it up to us to take care of ourselves. And that's what we're doing right here. The first step is to be aware of the danger that they present to us. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I really hope she responds to me. I want to hear what she thinks about dogs now, after one has totally ruined her life. Man, this is crazy. How many people read about this? This is another story that just came out. 6-year-old Melbourne boy is left with horror facial injuries after 2 dogs snuck into his school and bit him on the head. Yeah. And I think they titled it Mutt. And you know what's so infuriating, people? These are all recent stories. This is a recent story. Yet and still, when you Google the word dog and you click news, this is at the top of the search engine. This is the type of thing they want to push. Hilarious video of dogs trying and failing to eat whipped cream. Can you believe that? This is so infuriating. Even as all of these types of things that are going on, they want to continue to pump out stuff like this in regard to dogs. Steady glorify the presence of dogs at the same time. This is the wackiest part of the internet, bar none. Bar none, welcome. Welcome. You have reached the wackiest part of the internet, period. Not just YouTube. Nothing else on this planet is as crazy as this. How many people have read this article? It surfaced November 5th, 2 days ago. Y'all, yeah, you read that right. You read that right. Man, I cannot wait. Man, I cannot wait until our numbers grow. I can't wait until we influence powerful people. New coronavirus, likely from dogs, infects people in Malaysia and Haiti. People, Malaysia is very far from Haiti. Okay? Haiti is in the Caribbean. Malaysia is past India. And they found a new coronavirus in dogs in both areas. What does that tell you? We found a coronavirus, the article says, and not just any coronavirus, but one that many scientists believe may be a new human pathogen, likely the 8th coronavirus known to cause disease in people. Coronavirus from dogs likely causes pneumonia in kids. Didn't I tell y'all? These things, these mutants keep us sick. They keep us, they are a train wreck to our health. Widespread virus. But how it spreads is a mystery. Do y'all see that? That's real important to be mindful of, because it lets us know that we're going to have to do a whole lot of thinking on our own. You know, we got to do our own research. We got to connect the dots ourselves, because not even the doctors are fully aware of what viruses are out there. They're not fully aware of the means of transportation, how humans are getting infected. So it is perfectly reasonable what I do here on this channel. That is making the connections myself. How it spreads is a mystery. We're supposed to be so intelligent. And how it spreads is a mystery. The virus probably circulates widely. You see that? Do you see that? They're letting us know. Y'all better think for yourselves. You better stop sitting back expecting politicians to tell you the truth. You better start thinking for yourself. The virus probably circulates widely, but no one has paid attention to it. Isn't that what I've been talking about here? How there could be many diseases, viruses, infections, so forth, parasites, bacteria that dogs are spreading to us that the doctors are not even aware of. The best thing for you to do is completely separate yourself from disease-ridden mutants. Completely. Look at that. He suspects that it spreads all over the world. They're telling us. The information is out here. And it's so unfortunate that you don't hear about this on like Fox News. or even like CNN. They should have somebody who cover these stories. Shouldn't just be some hole in the wall channel here on YouTube. Unbelievable. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Why are they being protected? Yeah, that's a good question. Why are there's money? That's all I can think of. There's money in it, but you got to understand there are a lot of evil people in high places. And there is no telling, what their true agenda is. People, this is scary. He suspects that this new coronavirus is circulating all over the world and it's being passed from dogs to humans? What is this? And Fox News? They're not, these major outlets not reporting on this? And look at what else it says. If you've been around dogs frequently, you might have been infected with this virus. You have got to be kidding. One hypothesis is that the virus is circulating in people at low levels in many parts of the world, under the radar. Wow. Under the radar, undetected by doctors, undetected by scientists. And it's not just the new coronavirus. It could be many different types of viruses. I am telling you, just like with the Black Plague, these dogs are going to be the cause of a real massive problem. I'm being careful with my words here. A massive problem. They're going to be infecting us, and they probably are doing that right now. If this thing is real, I blame dogs 100%. Look, I don't deal with dogs. I'm not sick. Haven't been sick. Going on 4 years now. Do the math. If that hypothesis turns out to be true, this canine coronavirus will be the 8th coronavirus known to spread among humans. And they're saying from animals to humans. Animals to humans. We got to be careful. Although it's not a case for deep concern at this time, there's always a risk the virus could evolve and become just like this, was it Delta 8 variant? No, what we need to do is separate ourselves from dogs. From dogs. We have to be animal free in order to be at our healthiest, in our healthiest state. 100%. And I'm telling you, dogs are so nasty that I would, if I were in control, I would just remove dogs to see how much healthier we would be. Because I honestly don't believe that any other animal on the planet is as nasty and disease-ridden as dogs. I honestly don't believe that. Now, there was this fighter. Let me see if I can pull this up. Oh man, what is this? Oh, come on. 1 second here. Okay. Here, let me try this. Give me 1 second, people. Bear with me here. Okay, here we go. Now, check this out. Let me share my screen. All right, check this out. Oh, Lord.
So this is how I talk to my dog. Bath time. This is probably how my dog sees me. Bath time.
You know how stinking nasty these ugly, hideous looking monsters are. These dog nuts are well aware that dogs have no sense of hygiene and no capability to exercise it. All they do is sit around and get nastier and nastier, dirtier and dirtier. When you compare the cleanliness of dogs to cats, it is worlds apart. Not just cats. I will go as far as to say rabbits, squirrels, nothing, absolutely nothing on this planet is as disease-ridden, parasite-ridden, germ-ridden, right? Bacteria-ridden as dogs. These things are killing us, literally killing us. And we have to separate ourselves from them. This is unbelievable stuff here. So as I suspected, many of us suspected, dogs reportedly, allegedly, let me say, I'm being careful, have been spreading the coronavirus to human beings. Remember, for a while they were saying that dogs could not give humans coronavirus, that we didn't have anything to worry about. Y'all remember that? I reported on it at that time. Oh, nothing to worry about. And then out of nowhere, they said, well, it turns out that people who walk their dog are at a higher risk for contracting the virus. Just out of nowhere, there was multiple media outlets reported that. People who walk dogs. And I made a video and I said, okay, how does walking the dog put you at a greater risk? You know? You trying to say that what the dog is tracking the virus on its paws? What does walking the dog have to do with it? No, it seemed like to me they just wanted to avoid saying if you own a dog, you are at a higher risk. And ultimately, I suspect what they really want to say is that these mutants are infecting us with numerous diseases. Numerous diseases. How could they not be when their fecal matter is literally floating around in our air? And just to give you an example of how they sort of conceal information, they're very careful not to make statements that'll send the dog nut world into a panic and have them rushing to these shelters, getting rid of their dogs. People, they're very careful not to do that, not to say things that could possibly send the public into a panic like that. We got to be mindful of that. And because now it forces us to read between the lines, right? Read between the lies. This is another article that surfaced today. Dogs can introduce hookworms to humans. Oh my goodness. Hookworms. Yeah, that's only one out of several types of worms that dogs can pass to us. They just want to point out hookworms? Oh, bravo. Bravo. Good. Thank you. Thanks for telling us that. You know, but we, in this part of the internet, we're aware of that already. That they can give hookworms to us. And a whole bunch of types of worms they pass to us. And a bunch of other nasty things other than worms they pass to us. But they'll make an article like this every now and then, sort of put the truth out there, but they want to keep it separated like a little isolated thing you don't really have to worry about, just to keep the dog nut world from panicking. Well, I want you to panic. I want you to snap out of it, right? Because This is a pandemic. This is a pandemic. And if y'all gonna shut down schools, stuff like that, if you're really serious about the health of the public, you better give some attention to the dirtiest entities in society that are also polluting our air with fecal matter, urine, and saliva, even the air outside. Right? This is the real pandemic. We'll see if people can snap out of it. Ain't that disgusting? Absolutely disgusting. Man. Yeah, tapeworms, hookworms. I think they can pass pinworms to you. There's like a whole list of different types of worms these mutants pass to their owners. And if it's not the worm, it's the egg, this present on its body, these nasty things. Ugh. Man. Oh no. Somebody said, I wish everyone in this chat a dog-free home and life because I have to deal with one of those four-legged mutants. Oh no. Yes, you have my sympathy. You have my sympathy. 100%. Man, that's so crazy. You know, people who follow this channel, some of them are forced to live with dogs. I've heard a lot of them say that. That is so crazy. I could not imagine encountering this information at a time when I'm living with a dog. Man, I would be out of there. I would be out of there with the quickness. Dogs attack humans. And that's okay. Yeah. Any other pet I've had besides the ferret and smell neutral. Yeah, dogs. And what is that? Ugh. You notice no other animal smells like dogs. That's a good clue that no other animal is as nasty or filthy, as disease-ridden as dogs. Only dogs stink. Just for absolutely no reason. And it's a stench that you can't even wash out. Permanent stench. Which means it's caused by what? Some type of bacteria that the mutt just permanently has. Y'all remember I shared that story where the doctors brought these therapy mutts into a hospital. And they said that they had to sanitize those mutts every 5 to 10 minutes. Why? Because these things have permanent bacteria and all kinds of nasty stuff. You know, there's a real reason why dogs are looked at as very unclean in many parts of the world. We can't continue to ignore that. We can't, any animal, anything really that you find several countries, they stay away from, they avoid, they deem as a public health hazard. We need to investigate that. We can't just say to ourselves, oh, those are third world countries. They don't know what they're doing. No, we can't do that. The best way to improve this country is to take what good we can from other countries and implement it here. Yeah, we got to get out of this thing where, oh, we just do our own thing. We do whatever we want to do. That's why we're in the state we're in now. Doing whatever you want to do. Living like a flippin' nasty animal. Man, I truly, truly hope we snap out of this, man, sooner than later. So I feel better. Got this rant off my chest. I'm going to break my neck to get back on here later on tonight. Before I lay it down, I have a few more things that I want to deal with. Big shout out to the members. I will have more content uploaded today for the members. Big shout out to all the supporters of this channel. Please, please spread the message anytime you have an opportunity. Any and every time you have an opportunity, in person or online. I feel like every bit of effort or work put in helps. 100%. So I hope you all are able to join me later on as we continue with this crusade, this invincible crusade against these worthless mutants and their enabling owners.